Mark, the Force somehow transports Last Jedi Luke back to the moisture farm.
Mm.
He's stood in front of A New Hope Luke as he stares wistfully at the binary sunset. He has 1 minute. What advice does he give young Luke without any spoilers?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Hello, little fella. How are you? Really? Well, I met Master Luke yesterday, and I was very excited to meet him. But I'm even more excited to meet you.
He would say, never rest on your laurels. There'll always be a new problem to solve. So never be complacent and never take anything for granted. Which is probably good advice for me as
in
an
general.
actor.
Yeah. Andy Domhnall, hello.
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 Now, General Hux is hilarious. Am I allowed to say hilarious?
Yeah, no, it was great. It was nice to be able to do something different with it. You know, it was all. I thought honestly, I thought the first one was kind of funny as well. He's just such a snivelly sort of a guy who, you know, you've got to understand and take very seriously.
Yeah.
But he does some ridiculous things.
I saw The Last Jedi the other night. How do you feel? You're like an old man there now. Well, the knees go. The knees are the first bit to go. But you know, I know that. What do you consider to be the overarching kind of theme or message of The Last Jedi?
Well, the Star Wars films have always been very optimistic, hopeful films. This one, I think, is particularly challenging and dark in ways maybe not since Empire Strikes Back. But the middle chapter is always unique in that everyone faces terrible challenges that they didn't expect, and things can remain unresolved because you have a third act to tie everything up. So all bets are off, and anything can happen. So that's very exciting in and of itself.
Is it better to get your teeth into something like that rather than, you know, because bad guys, and we'll come to you in a second, Andy, bad guys generally get a hard rap in films.
How do you mean, like?
There's not a lot of depth to them.
Well, yeah, that's badly written stuff, though. But Ryan is a really, really good writer. Yeah. So there's always going to be some element of depth there. And with Hux, he decided to make him even more desperate to begin with, and then really undermine him continually in front of his underlings, which is just not a good place to be. So I thought, no, there's loads of fun to be had there. And what was good is it was also different to the first film, and I thought that was really smart to mix things up.
You know, with Empire, I guess at the end of Empire, you were left kind of like, everyone was like,
right, of course.
But I got to the end of Last Jedi and felt actually quite satisfied.
Oh, good. Well, but the Empire, well, the First Order now, as they call it, has reduced the rebels to just a handful of soldiers. I mean, it really looks dire at the end.
Yeah.
Although, as General Leia says, we have everything we need. So again, a little glimmer of hope in all the tragic consequences. It's fascinating to me, this modern day mythology, and I think people forget these films were really meant for children. We didn't expect, you know.
I was one of them.
There you are, but see, you've grown up, and presumably, whether you have children of your own or nephews and nieces, you pass that on, which I find particularly gratifying because it's become like a family experience that all, you know, children of all ages can enjoy. It's very unique, and I certainly have never taken it for granted.
That BB-8, does he get on your nerves a little bit? No. He's a nice little boy, isn't he? Is he? I don't even know if BB-8's a boy. Do we know if BB-8's a boy or a girl? With Snoke, we finally get to meet him properly. Where did you come from to make him? Because he's very human, weirdly, and in terms of the language that he uses and stuff like that. But he's far more scary, I think, than the Emperor.
One, you have to base him on in real life and the darkest part of yourself. And I was looking to kind of world leaders that I thought might fit the mould, and they're not. You don't have to look too far. But actually, it is this kind of it's You're not playing a moustache twirling villain. You can't, even in something as space opera as this.
Yeah.
You know, there has got to be a spark of humanity. There has got to be something that you can relate to. Because I think that's the thing is I don't really believe in the concept of pure evil at all. I don't think it exists. I think we're all capable of doing the most heinous things and the most beautiful and loving things. And so it's acknowledging that which allows you to play in the area of a proper villain, I think.
I sort of let myself believe that I'd never come back, because why would I? That they wouldn't ask us. If they did new films, they'd have all new characters. So when George told us that they did want us to come back, and he said, if you don't want to come back, we won't recast, we'll just write your characters out. Well, what a huge burden in a way, because I thought, as much fun as it would be, it's difficult to catch lightning in a bottle twice. And the fans can be brutal in their criticism, you know.
Because they care so much, I guess.
I guess that's probably it. And there's ownership too. They think they know this should happen, this can't happen. We want this person to do that, or whatever it is.
Does that wind you up a little bit?
Well, you know, I mean, you hope that you can satisfy most people. But as I said about Force Awakens, at one point, I told a crowd of Star Wars fans at a convention, I said, you have to understand, no matter what we do, it's impossible to satisfy everyone. The headline was, Mark Hamill says Episode 7 bound to disappoint. You know, Disney said, did you say that? I said, well, not in those words.
With The Force Awakens, we saw a bit of Snoke, but you know, how good was it to kind of finally get a bit of history there?
Well, it's great. It's great to actually, because obviously in The Force Awakens he appears by hologram.
Yeah.
You know, so it's great to actually finally get up close and personal with him, which we do in this movie, and really look into his eyes. And you know, he's a deeply manipulative leader who is ultimately driven by fear, and that's an interesting area to work in as well. Because when leaders are fearful, they make horrendous decisions.
Can Wolves get into the Premiership?
Oh my gosh!
Are they going to get into the Premiership again?
Well, I hope so, because I inadvertently endorsed them, because when someone said, "Do you like the Wolves?" I thought they were talking about the animal. Seriously, I said, "Sure, I love the Wolves." So I got the biggest boost. I'm at Hamill himself on Twitter.
Yeah.
I saw my followers jump by tens of thousands.
They're a fastidious bunch.
Well, I was going to say, if you think Star Wars fans are enthusiastic, the sports fans are, to end them all, the most passionate of them all. But that's hilarious.
Now, R2, can I get you just to give a little message to all of your Virgin Radio fans? Because everybody loves R2-D2. You're our favourite. That is amazing. Can I have a hug? Oh, I'm in heaven. It's going to hit me in a minute.
Virgin Radio with Jamie East.